Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Or yes, ma'am. For the women that are watching, welcome, welcome, welcome. Welcome back to another exciting episode of 4 Wolves Takes, where your boy, Artis Woods, will bring you 4 fresh Minnesota Timberwolves takes. As always, like usual, it's an honor. It's a blessing. It's a privilege to be in front of you all today talking Minnesota Timberwolves basketball. I can't think of a better place to be than right here in front of you all. So thank you all for tuning in, for watching, for hearing me out. And I feel good about this episode, man. I feel good about this episode because, you know, recent episodes that I've recorded, I've recorded these episodes out of a place of frustration, out of a place of irritation, because I've just been annoyed with the team, man. Just like, what are we watching? What are we doing out here, man? It's tough. When you was just in the Western Conference Finals last year and you were expecting the team to kind of pick off where they left off, understanding they made a big time trade before the start of the season. But when you have these expectations and they come out of the gate so slow, it's like, man, come on, man. I might want to see this. Now, granted, you got some other teams that made some runs that also kind of start slow, you know what I mean, and pick it up later. But I didn't want to see that. I didn't want to see that. And I still think that they're in the process of figuring it out. But I feel like the Wolves are moving in the right direction. I come before you all every week or every other, depending on, you know, as a producer, when the schedule permits for me to come before you guys and deliver a episode of 4 Wolves Takes. And I give you guys takes nonstop. 4 every time, nonstop. And most of the time, if you're really paying attention, I feel like these takes come back pretty accurate. But there are times where the takes are wrong. And I will be the first to admit when a take is wrong. First to admit it. I have been talking about this defense for the longest. How this defense is not what it was last year. It won't get back to that. You need to put everything, you need to put all your emphasis on the offensive side of the ball because the defense just is not there. It is what it is. Don't completely give up on it. Obviously, give effort out there, but it's just not what it was, right? And I saw people in the comment section. A few people agree with me, but it was someone else specifically. I remember them saying something along the lines of, man, I'm so tired of people talking about this defense. I can't wait till it shifts and people can just shut up talking about it. And I remember reading the comment like, man, I know what my eyes tell me. You know what I mean? I got glasses on too. You know, if I ain't got these on, I got contacts on. You know what I mean? I know what they tell me. Now, if I ain't got my glasses or contacts in, we having a different conversation. But I can see just fine. I know what my eyes tell me. My eyes tell me the defense ain't there. Lo and behold, man, first take of the day, the defense is back. The defense is back, which is why, again, P.S., right? I could have put it in parentheses. I was wrong about the defense because they, over the last few weeks, have been balling on the defensive side of the ball, and I like what I have seen. Specifically, the last 5 games. Over the last 5 games, the Wolves have the best defensive rating in the NBA. And it's not close. They are sitting right now at a 93.8 defensive rating. The next closest team is the Sixers, 104.2. The difference between number 1 and number 2 in defensive rating, the Wolves and the Sixers in defensive rating, is larger than the difference between number 2 and number 20. Because if you go down this list, I got here right in front of me. You got the Wolves number 1 at 93.8. You got the Sixers dropping all the way down to 104.2, but then it goes from 104.2 to 105.5, 105.6, 105.7, 108.2, 108. Like, it's close. But at the top, it ain't close at all. It's been impressive, man. Everyone is defending, and that's the part that I love about it. Everyone is stepping up defensively. I needed to see more from Anthony Edwards on the defensive side of the ball. I've seen him step up defensively. I needed to see more from Jaden on the defensive side of the ball. He has stepped up and looked like the Jaden of old. Rudy Gobert has stepped up in a big way too. Speaking of my takes, he touching the ball a little bit more offensively. Just saying, just a little bit. Just a little bit. And I think that has something to do with him playing better defensively as well. But Rudy Gobert is playing better defensively, playing like the defensive player of the year that we know that he is, right? Like the reigning defensive player of the year. He is making statements on defense. And Nas Reed. Nas Reed, to me, he showed me glimpses of what he can be defensively last year when he was guarding Jokic in the playoffs. I don't think we talked about that enough. He also was impressive against Jokic in the playoffs last year. Just like, Karl Anthony Towns was, Nas had his moments as well, where he played very good defensively to my eye. Like I said, that ain't get talked about enough. And last but not least, man, Julius Randle. Honestly, one of the reasons why I was so down on the defense was because of Julius Randle, if I'm being honest. Julius Randle, man, and it can be hit or miss at times. It still can be a little hit or miss at times. But he's shown me that he can defend. He's shown me that he has that ability. And now, since I've seen him display that ability to play with this team and defend at a high level, now it's hard for me to accept when he's not playing at that level. Defense, I've said this before and I'll say it again. Yes, there is some skill involved in defense, but it's not like scoring the basketball. Scoring the basketball, a lot of times, especially if you're a guard or a wing player, it takes a lot of skill. Even a big man, you got to have the footwork for it unless you're just getting an offensive rebound and putting it back in the rim. But you got to have skill. You got even offensive rebound. You got to have the skill to get the ball, right? You got to know where the ball's coming off the rim, et cetera, et cetera. But I say all that to say, you got to have skill to score the basketball. It's rare that you luck into offensive buckets. You got to have skill for that, right? Defense, I don't view the same way. Don't get me wrong. You do have to have a touch of skill for defense, but defense is more so about energy and effort than anything. It's more about knowing where you need to be on the floor, getting to the spot, defending at a high level, hands up, moving your feet, contesting shots. That's energy. That's effort. Now that Julius has shown me he could do that, now it's like we need that on a consistent basis now. Anthony Edwards, I know he was joking when he said, man, I ain't never seen Julius defend. I know it was a joke in a way, but I'm just like, look, it's not happening often. But I think playing alongside Anthony Edwards when he's playing great defensively, Rudy Gobert, Jaden, and even Coach Finch coaching defense, I think that helps. And so the Wolves defense is back. Now, again, this recent game against the Warriors makes this take look crazy. But again, all in all, that defense has been playing great, and I would be remiss not to bring it up, given the fact that I was one of the main guys like, man, this defense ain't it right now. Because it wasn't to my eye. It wasn't, and it took me a minute. I saw a few glimpses, but I'm like, I need to see more. This has been a nice little stretch where this defense, in my opinion, has played very well. So shout out to everybody out there defending, and can't forget about this guy right here who I'm about to bring up, Nickeil Alexander-Walker. Second take of the day. Nah has been the most consistent player for the Wolves so far. He has been the most consistent player for the Wolves so far. And I don't talk about him enough. I don't think that's my first time saying that. I feel like every year I just expect this from him now because I've seen the energy, the effort, right? I've seen how the man plays on a night in, night out basis. And so you kind of get used to him being that guy, but it has to be talked about. All year long, he has been the guy, sometimes the only guy on the floor who's bringing energy, who's bringing effort, who's hitting big shots, who's getting steals. Blowouts, I'm defending at a high level. Close games, I'm defending at a high level. He's making it hard for Coach Finch to take him out the game in the fourth quarter because of how well he is playing. Let me get these numbers up, man, because I had these numbers up. Let's get back to it. Right now, he's averaging about 10 points a game. He's shooting a career high, 51.6 we round up for Wolves players, 52% from the field. The boy is shooting 46% right now from the tray. That is a career high. And the points at roughly 10 points a game is 9.7. Again, we round up. So roughly 10 points a game. It's the highest point total he's averaged since the 2021-22 season with the Pelicans. We have not seen this level of production out of Nickeil Alexander-Walker in a while. He's doing it on both ends of the floor. No, he's not going to give you crazy numbers. He's not going to go out here and drop 30, right? But he's hitting big time shots. He's making the big time threes. He's getting big time stops, right? Doing his best to run the offense. I'm going to get to that in another take. Doing his best to run the offense. But he is a factor out there. He gives this team juice, and you love to see it. He's been, you know what you're going to get You know what you're going to get from Nickeil Alexander-Walker every single night. And to be honest, of everyone on the entire team, he is the only one, which is why he's been the most consistent. He is the only one where I know night in and night out exactly what he's going to bring to the table. Exactly what he's going to bring to the table. Everybody else is kind of, we'll see. You expect greatness from everybody, but it's like some nights it's not their night. Some night, I don't know about the defense. Some night the shot ain't falling. Some night it's this, that, and the like, at least with Nickeil Alexander-Walker, defense going to be on point. Energy and effort going to be on point. Hustle, all of that. That's going to be there. Ain't never got to think twice about it. So shout out to Nickeil Alexander-Walker. I need to spend more time talking about him and what he's doing in future episodes. But I couldn't go another episode without talking about how great he has been this year, to me, on both sides of the basketball. The boy has been special this year. And I think the Wolves need to find a way to make sure they pay him. I think the Wolves need to find a way to make sure they pay him. I'm just saying. I think Nickeil's one of those pieces. Again, the stats ain't going to tell the whole story with him, right? It's not no crazy stats. But he's one of those pieces that if you lose him, that's a tough one to replace. Everybody not bringing that type of energy and effort, effectively every night like he is. I'm just saying. I think they got to find a way to keep him. That brings me to this next topic, though. In my next take, like I said earlier, Nickeil Alexander-Walker plays so well sometimes that it makes it hard for Coach Finch to make a decision to pull him in the fourth quarter. But what Coach Finch has to do is find a way to get Mike Conley on the floor if he is active and playing in the crunch time. Make room for him, however you need to get it done. However it needs to get done, you need to do it. I don't care how it's done. As long as it's not Anthony Edwards coming out of the game, I don't care who you take out the game. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm not going to lie to you. I don't care who comes out of the game. I don't care what lineup you run. Make sure Mike Conley is out there to steer the ship, to guide the team. Because when you don't have a floor general on the floor in the fourth quarter, we just seen it against the Warriors in this second game. It is all over the place. It is sloppy. It's scrambled. It's discombobulated, disorganized. Guys don't know where they want to be. Anthony Edwards going into hero mode, turning the ball over. It's ugly. It's ugly. You need a floor general out there. Now, I do believe when Rob Dillingham comes back, hopefully he can earn that trust and he could get some of those fourth quarter minutes to, preserve Mike Conley. I'm not saying he should play the whole fourth over Mike, but I'm just saying he could be another floor general potentially in the fourth at times, depending on the lineups. But you got to find a way right now to get Conley out there, bro. There has to be a floor general on the floor. Like, the Wolves need Mike Conley. And it's crazy because Mike Conley, as we know, he is up there in age. But when it comes to his veteran experience, when it comes to being able to get guys in their spots on the floor, calm things down, get guys to just simply settle down. This is why I brought this up last episode, and I'm bringing it up right now. You miss Kyle Anderson sometimes. You really do. Because Kyle Anderson did a great job of calming things down. Mike is a step above that. He knows how to get everybody calm. And then Mike can hit big shots and make plays as well, as far as facilitating, hitting threes. He has his off days. But even on his off days, I want him out there. At least to just, let's slow the pace up. All right, now let's speed the pace up. All right, and I'm going to come over here. I'm going to dump the ball to you down in the post. And I'm going to run over here to hit me over here if you need me. You know what I mean? Like, it's y'all know what I'm talking about. It's crazy when he's not out there. It's crazy when he's not out there. And it seems like, to my eye, no matter what lineup you try to throw out there without him being out there, it just looked the same to me. It looks like it's just disorganized. It don't look right. So my solution to this is just playing him in the fourth, making sure he's getting a lot of fourth quarter minutes. I don't care if he don't play a ton of minutes throughout the game and his minutes are patchy throughout the game. But in the fourth, when it comes to money time, he needs to be out there. He needs to be out there. Or, again, if Rob is healthy, I'm giving Rob some of those minutes as well. But we can't have any more minutes in the fourth without a floor general out there at all. And Anthony Edwards, he can be great on ball, but it is hit or miss in the fourth, right? Nah can be great on ball from time to time. That's also hit or miss. DiVincenzo can do it, but you don't want to rely on DiVincenzo to do that. You want DiVincenzo shooting the basketball. You need Dante focusing on getting to his spots and shooting the basketball. That's what you need out of him, right? Julius Randle from time to time can do it as well. I think we forget that. Julius Randle from time to time could bring the ball up and initiate offense, but I just rather have Mike Conley doing it. I would much rather have Mike Conley and Rob Dillingham doing it when it matters in the fourth quarter. Not to say those guys, obviously Julius, not to say I don't want him on the floor, right? But because he can hit big time shots. We've seen him hit a game winner earlier this season, but you need a floor general on the floor. You just do. Last take of the day. I got the Wolves going 2-0 over the next two games. I think they are building momentum. I think they are building confidence. I got them going 2-0 over the next two games. And I only said 2-0 because I will be right back before you guys before they play again on Thursday the 19th. And who do they play on Thursday the 19th in Minnesota? The New York Knicks. Should be a great game because as we know, for the people that are watching, the Knicks right now, Karl Anthony Towns is playing lights out basketball. He playing lights out ball. Can't deny it. So that game for me is circled. We got to see that game. Yeah, it's 82 games in the season. Sometimes you don't see every single game. You got to go back and watch the tape and go back and watch, But for this one, you got to see this one live. You got to see that one live. And like I said, I'll be back before you guys before that game to give a preview for that game as well. But in the next two games, you got the Lakers, so you've already beaten this year. Lost to them opening night, but you got them back. Actually, I want to say, was this the 2nd of December? So you got them back about a week or so ago, right? And you got the Spurs after that. I think these are two beatable teams. I'm not even sure off the top of my head if Wemby is healthy. I know he's missed a few games. Don't quote me on that. I could be wrong. But whether Wemby is on the floor or not, I think that'll be a win for the Wolves. This is where you build some momentum. It's still kind of early. Build some momentum and get that win over the Knicks, man. That's a bittersweet moment right there for Kat, a bittersweet moment for Dante and for Julius Randle. I'm looking forward to that game. If you cannot tell, I'm looking forward to that game. But that is all I have for you all today on this week's episode of 4 Wolves Takes. Again, I'll be right back in front of you guys before the Timberwolves and Knicks game. I like what I see. I think they're starting to figure it out. Rotation's still a little I wish my boy Rob was healthy, but he should be back very soon. All in all, man, confidence level starting to rise, man. Just a little bit for me. Starting to rise again, man. Let's see if they can keep this up. Let's see if they can keep it up, man. Again, thank y'all for tuning in to this week's episode of 4 Wolves Takes. I'll catch you next time.